Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to talk about how to connect front-end with back-end code, how to deploy the back-end, and what website can be used for deployment. I hope this video helped you a lot. Let's get started with this video. I have divided this video into 6 key points. By the end of the video, you will be able to write your own code, deploy it and make it live. And the steps are: first one, set up backend and frontend in VS Code. And second one, push both in GitHub. And third one, run the backend and frontend. And fourth one, deploy the backend. Fifth one, create a MongoDB database. And finally, sixth one, check the final result. I will explain all 6 points step by step in this video. Let's divide into the first topic, that is backend and frontend in VS Code. Here I have opened VS Code. I created a folder named YouTube video with two subfolders, one of the backend and another one frontend. Since I am making this video for YouTube, I named the folder accordingly, but you can use any name you like. I have already developed the backend and frontend code in advance because doing everything live would make the video too lengthy. The main goal of this video is to show you how to connect the backend and frontend, integrate a database, and publish a website. In the frontend folder, I followed a proper file structure and included the necessary CSS. In the backend folder, I wrote all code in an index.js file. I have also pre-installed the required module for both backend and frontend. See here, currently I'm running the frontend code without any backend connection. You can see the output in the browser. Since there is no database connected, it's just static website using HTML and CSS. To make it dynamic, we need to deploy the backend and connect the backend, frontend, and database properly. Right now, everything is running locally. Here we can see name and photo and button for submitting. If I try to post something like giving a title content and selecting an image, I click the post button. Ideally, it should create a post just like posting on social media or Facebook or Twitter like that. So however, when I try posting now, I get an error, that is error creating post. Check console for details. So guys, why the error? Because the backend code has not been deployed. A front end and backend are not connected. There is no database connection. Now let's fix the issue. In the next steps, I will explain how to deploy backend, connect everything and make it work properly. And now second point, push both front end and backend to GitHub. I have already pushed the code to GitHub. If you are unfamiliar with how to do this, I have made a separate video on this topic. You can find the link in the description. And come to third one, running backend and frontend. Currently, the frontend code runs properly, but the backend doesn't because the MongoDB database has not been connected yet. Even though the code is pushed to GitHub, it has not been deployed yet. Let's move to the further points for deployment. Now, fourth point, deploying the backend. So, we are using render.com to deploy the backend. First, open your browser, search for render.com and click on the link to visit the site. Once you are on the home page, take a moment to explore and get familiar with it. And next, click on Get Started button at the top of right corner to begin registration. Use your preferred email ID for the process. Once registration done, you will be redirected to the dashboard. On the dashboard, select Web Service. Under that, choose a service type. Their process to configure your deployment. Since we have already uploaded our backend code to GitHub, select Publish Git repository, paste your GitHub repository URL here and connect it to render. Now it's time to set up some configurations. Choose a name for your server like YouTube video. Leave the branch and root directory files as they are. For the build command, type npm install nodemon, and for the start command, enter nodemon index.js. It is very important, and scroll down and select the free plan, which offer up to 512 MB of memory. If you need more, you can upgrade to a paid plan. Also make sure to turn off the auto deploy option. This is to prevent automatic deployment whenever you push new code to GitHub. And finally, click on Create Web Service button to begin the deployment process. And you can monitor the progress on the dashboard. Once the deployment is complete, your backend will be live and you will receive a URL to access it. And please copy the URL, keep it side. Yes, our code is now live. Since there are no errors in the code, it shows as successfully deployed and live. If you want to make any changes to the code later, you will need to push the updated code to GitHub. After pushing, go to render.com and click on manual deploy. You will see an option called deploy latest commit. Once you click it, the latest code will be deployed. However, if you don't update the code on GitHub or render, the old version of the code will continue to run. And guys, now copy the URL provided on the render dashboard and save it for later use. If you see any errors in the black area on render, go back to your code, fix the errors and redeploy, otherwise the deployment won't work. With render, there is no need to run the backend code separately. It runs automatically since it's hosted on render. I hope guys you're understanding very well. Let's now move into the front end. The URL you copied from the render, you should replace all instance of localhost in your frontend code. Once you have done that, publish the frontend code on platform like Virtual or any other hosting services. Once published, your project will work seamless just like a normal website hosted with a domain. Now let's move on to the fifth point. Create MongoDB. To set up your MongoDB database, go to Google and search for MongoDB Atlas. Here, you will see several websites, but choose right one. Make sure to select the official one at the top. Once you open it, take a look around. You will notice that many big companies use MongoDB Atlas. Now we are going to use the free trial option. First, sign up for an account. After signing up, MongoDB may ask for some basic information. It didn't ask me anything, but it might for you. Once you are signing up, look at the top left side and you will see an option called it database. Click on it, then it will prompt you to create a cluster. You will see a button for this, click it. And next, you will move to a new page. Select the free trial option and don't touch anything other settings. You will see button called it create deployment. Click on it. After that, it will ask for you a small verification. Complete it and then you will move to set up connection security. And here create a user and password and make sure to copy and save them. Once that done, click it and then move to the next step. In step 2, you will find several options, but you only need to select MongoDB shell. After connecting, move to step 3. If you don't have the MongoDB shell installed, you will see the option to install at the bottom. Or if you have already installed, select I have MongoDB shell installed. After that, copy the connection string, the URL provided. This is very important as it's what we will use to connect to the database later. Save it and click on the done button. After that, now you will see pop up on the right side with a button labeled go to my collection. Click it to go back to the main dashboard. If you don't see it, go back to the database option on the left side, the select browser collection. Now here you will see example database already created. If you want to create a new database, click on Create Database at the top. A pop-up will appear where you will need to provide a database name and a collection name. You can skip the additional performance options. I don't enable them. Once ready, click the create button and your database will be created. See here, all your data will now be stored here. To access it, use the connection string we saved earlier. For example, you have created a database, call it demo.data. You will need to use this exact name in your code. I will show you how to use it shortly. Finally, go to the top left and click on Atlas. Here, you will see option to set up an IP address. Click on Network Access to move to the next tab. Now click on IP address. A pop-up will pair. Select Allow Access from Anywhere. If you want to access from any location, I choose this option and click on confirm button and your IP will be added. Now your database setup is 100% complete. To connect it to your application, use the connection string we copied earlier, paste it in your code in string format and make sure to include the database name you created. Once this is done, check your terminal. It should say the database connection is successful. If there was an error earlier, it was now be resolved with the correct URL. This means your backend is running successfully and the database is ready to store data. Now let's see how every activity performed on the front end is stored in the backend. Let's check the final output. Now let's test everything by creating a post through the front end. First, we will add title and then we will add some content which could be description of the post. And next, let's upload a photo just like we do on Facebook or Twitter when we upload a picture. After filling everything in, click on the post button. Wow, everything works perfectly. You can see post displayed here. What happens behind the screen is simply the post method stores the data in the database and the get method fetches it back to display it on the UI. So that's it guys. I have successfully completed a mini project by connecting the front end with back end. It took me around 8 hours to create this video. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If possible, share it and don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Thank you so much guys. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment box.